Well, good morning, Champions Mindset. I hope wherever you are at that you are having an amazing Memorial Day weekend. As you can see by looking at this, I'm sitting on the floor in the Albuquerque airport with my iPad sitting up on the arm of another chair in a corner of the airport where nobody is at, so that my excitement and enthusiasm about being with you guys and sharing some information with y'all and answering your questions doesn't just like disturb the whole airport. So I am so excited for us to have this time. And the very first thing I want to talk about is I want to hear some feedback, ahas, etc., on the education segment that I sent you. And so, Nina, I'll start with you. What were some ahas, questions about the recording?
Well, there were a couple of things that really caught my, wow. One of them is the fear will always trump the why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing for me. And I think that that plays into the second thing is the action part, is that the action, there's not enough action, but I think that's because the fear is trumping the why.
Wow.
The why is really strong. The why is really strong, but somehow when I get going, all of a sudden I just stop the action. Mm-hmm. And that's it's frustrating, and then you just kind of wallow in this is what I always do, and I'm so frustrated with myself, and then all that negative self-talk just crawls back in.
Well, and you know, Nina, that is very common. It's probably one of the most common reasons that anybody in life doesn't achieve a goal, and it goes back to something that is playing in your head in the background that is creating that stuck feeling. And that was actually one of the things that Deb Erickson and I, sorry, y'all are at the airport with me. That was actually one of the things that Deb and I worked on yesterday during our one-on-one. And so if that is something that you would seriously like to look at and address, that would be a great opportunity for, it probably would take us 2 or 3 very focused coaching calls, but having just walked through it with Deb, I'd be more than happy to do that with you, because it is so true. If your fear is bigger than your why, the fear will trump the why all day long. And so that's a big takeaway from that. Thank you for sharing. Who else will share with me takeaway or questions from the education segment? Okay, y'all don't be bashful. And Lou, I can see your beautiful silhouette. Okay, yay, Melissa. You're muted, so you're going to have to unmute. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, just listening to it yesterday, it seems like I've noticed lately that I feel like I've done much better because I went through the Deb Erickson, and I've been able to really kind of stop stuff in its path on, negative thoughts. But one of the things I've still been dealing with is the fear that I'm, am I really good enough to do this? Or, can I really leave, one job to another? Am I even going to, is that even an option? And so, and if it's not, then what am I doing? And so just,
And so, Melissa, which Deb Erickson material are you working with right now?
None right now, but I did the, what was it? I Can Start, or?
I Can Start. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So Mary Beth and I did that together first of the year.
Excellent. Well, and I will tell you, and I have not put this out there for the whole world, because I don't want to offer this to the whole world. But I'm going to be offering something probably starting either mid-June or July 1st, where because of the programs that I have financially invested in with Deb, I'm going to have the opportunity to have as many of my consultants in my unit and our future national area be a part of a program that Deb has going, and it won't cost you anything. And so just kind of keep your ears open and know that that's coming. Okay, and so thinking about what you said about, can I really switch this job, you know, and be able to do Mary Kay full time? What is it specifically that is making you doubt that?
Probably just, I guess it's just a fear. Just know, you know, am I capable? You know, can I do this? And, you know, every time I've really been enjoying the parties, and it's kind of addictive when you're, you know, working with the women and that kind of thing. But, you know, am I really called to do this, or am I called to do my job that I'm just not enjoying and been frustrated with for, you know, a couple of years? Or, you know, what is, you know, God's plan for me? And and so it's just frustrating, and I think just learning also the difference between joy and happiness has been a big thing too. So,
well, let me ask you a question. Did you feel like when you looked at the Mary Kay business, did you feel like that was something that the Lord had put in your path?
I felt like it was definitely something that God has wanted me to use to help meet other women. And my job, I'm kind of stuck in a hole. So I just kind of wave at people and don't really get to, you know, have that one-on-one connection. And I really felt like it was kind of a vehicle for me to use to build relationships with other women and to really meet them where they are. Not, you know, maybe as a, you know, I don't want to say as a ministry, but just as a way to kind of, I guess, outreach and meet other people. So, and I know just, you know, having started since, you know, back in August, my confidence has completely changed. How I handle things has completely changed. My bounce back time, and I have, you know, so many more women in my phone that, you know, I can call and that kind of thing. Just more relationships, whether they buy or not, it doesn't matter. So that's been a big thing, but I guess I still worry, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And
okay, well, let me ask you a question. What is Satan's number one tool?
To keep me defeated and discouraged.
Discouragement and doubt. And so the reason I asked you if you felt like that the Lord was in your decision to begin Mary Kay, until he tells you something specifically the opposite, the things that come in that create doubt and discouragement are not from him. And everything that you said about your why for being, you know, wanting to make a difference and reaching out to women, those are all huge. And so when you're thinking about, can I really do this? Here is the bottom line, Melissa, is that's almost like looking down the road too far and buying trouble. All focus on is the effort that will create the results. And when you focus on the effort consistently, then if it's the right effort and it's being done correctly, the results will come. If it's not, you coach with your director and she will help you tweak, because we always have to tweak little things. And then the results will come. And as long as you continue to do that, then the results will tell you exactly if you can leave that job. And but nothing, there's no amount of strategic planning that can give you that answer. It's only the work. And but I will tell you, that is the most rock solid, what's the word I'm looking for? Rock solid. I haven't had a diet doctor yet today, excuse me. The most rock solid assurance that you can have is the results. Then there will be no doubt. But if there is doubt now, then it impacts how much you're on the front booking. It impacts, you know, that impacts your results, which only solidifies the doubt and the discouragement. Does that make sense? And, you know, here's the thing, Melissa. I know I don't know you as well as I would love to. And I'm looking forward to seminar for some of that. But I believe with all my heart and soul that if God was in this decision, that He has already equipped you within yourself and within the circle of influence that you are part of in this business to do anything that you want to do in this business. And so I so appreciate you being so transparent. And that's the exact kind of conversations that need to be had, because as long as those tapes are playing in the back of our head, remember what the brain does. Your subconscious, your amygdala to be technical, its whole job is to keep you safe. And that means keep you comfortable. And so it's going to do everything in its power when you are feeling uncomfortable to put thoughts in your mind that try and keep you back in that comfortable spot. That is its job. It doesn't get to negotiate it. That's just its job. And so that's why things like this call and being at your girls' night out and being in a coaching relationship with your director is so important, because we can retrain that. But until we retrain it, the default is to keep you safe and to keep you comfortable. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did I sort of kind of answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Awesome. Who else has a question or some feedback about the recording? Don't be bashful. Okay, Belinda, you're talking, but you're muted. Can you unmute, Belinda? Okay, there. Now I can hear you.
I really liked it. Your questions just make you think. So, and I like that very much. But it just really, I don't know. Okay, so I feel like a lot like Melissa in a lot of ways. You know, I feel like I enjoy the party so much and just be meeting with people and joining Mary Kay was, and I love everything about it. But it's like always 6 inches in front of your head, they get in your way, and that is my issue. It still gets in my head. Or in my way. And so that is my constant daily. It's like, you know, just gotta do it, you know, because I love it and I do want to make this change and I need to do it. And once I do it, I feel great about it. But it's like taking that pause and it was like, okay, let's go, because it's my natural or whatever is I'm normally very shy and don't like to be in the limelight of sorts, and this really puts you in a limelight kind of spot. And so it's very different than anything I've ever done. And I know I've grown immensely and I love it. So I love your questions, and I don't really have anything specific because it's just, you know, very much I think a lot of what Melissa said. I just, you know, I love your questions, and I think it really just makes you stop and think and really analyze why and what and how and all that, and just kind of keeps you focused. And I like that.
Well, and thank you for that. And I wish I could take credit for that, Belinda, but one of the things that fuels me, there's 2 things that fuel me: fun and learning. And I can honestly tell you that those particular questions that I shared with you all came from Deb Erickson and her rut busting program that she's had for years and years and years. But may I address something that you said?
Sure.
Okay. You talked about not wanting to be the center of attention and not being the limelight. For some of you, this may surprise you that know me really well. Although I am a high I hate being the center of attention. I hate, and I'm just being totally transparent with you guys, when somebody stands up and reads my accolades, it's all I can do not to throw up, you know, because I feel like that puts, oh, look at me, you know, kind of thing. And so some of what I've had to do in my head, Belinda, is I love to make a difference. I believe that I can be an extremely powerful teacher, and I can grab people and my desire is to just make a difference in how they're thinking and to help them go to the next level. And put me on, I've been blessed to speak like from the Career Conference stage to 5,000 people in Dallas. That doesn't bother me at all because I'm there for a purpose and a reason. Now, the introduction part I didn't like, but because I'm so about them. And so one of the things that has really helped me, Belinda, is I always still, 28 years later, Belinda, because how we're wired, we're never going to change how we're wired. We're just going to develop tools that help us compensate for how we're wired. And so I always, in that kind of circumstance, as soon as I hear them start to read those accolades, I immediately in my brain start thinking, Lord, let those accolades open somebody's mind or heart to what I'm going to say. Don't let them focus on me, but focus on the words that you have given me to share with them. And I literally, you would think after a while it would become second nature. It doesn't, because I don't like to be the center of attention, much like you. And so that's an example in so much of my Mary Kay business, you guys, because all of us are flawed. Even though we're daughters of the King, we're all flawed. And some of us have acquired some flaws by what life and the world have put on us. But here's what I believe with all my heart and soul. I think about all the skills that we need in life and in Mary Kay. Why this is my example, I'm almost embarrassed to tell y'all. I think about a tool belt that a carpenter or somebody like that would wear. And if you imagine the tool belt around your waist, and they've got their hammer hanging from there, and they've got their screwdriver hanging from there, and they might have a portable drill hanging from there, and they might have a flashlight hanging from there. I think about the skill that I just shared with you about what I have to do in my head. To me, that is an acquired tool that I now have in my tool belt because I was willing to do just what you guys are doing here today. I was willing to plug into people who are where I wanted to be, that I respected and wanted to pour into me, and they gave me those tools. Now, here's the thing. Because I am not mechanically minded, having the tool and knowing how to use the tool are two different things. And Dick is always telling me, baby, that is not what that's supposed to be used for. And as long as it does the job, I'm okay with it. And so how you learn to use the tools, first you have to know the tool, and that comes by being in a coaching relationship, being in a situation like that. And then how to use the tool effectively comes from practice, and then talking with your coach and helping them help you develop and tweak how you're using it, okay? But every single thing, I believe with all my heart and soul, is just like that. It's just a new tool in your tool belt. And as an example, yesterday, I had the blessing of being with Deb Erickson one-on-one for the entire day. And she asked me what I wanted. And I said, I need a tool. These are my exact words. I need a tool that will allow me to blah, blah, blah. And we spent the entire day on that. But it was a big tool. It's something big that I felt like was holding me back from being the best I could be. And now I have the tool. And y'all are going to laugh at this, but you know that oh God, my leg's going to sleep. I'm sitting Indian style. What the tool is that, oh man, okay. When I was being raised, my mom was 100% emotional. There was no logic in her at all. If you held up a hand in front of your face and emotionally she thought it was a foot, it was a foot. And so what I learned as a child was, and she was very volatile, and she had a razor tongue, and I watched how that impacted people. And so unconsciously, I kind of made some rules in my mind that being angry was not a good emotion. Having anger was not a good emotion. and some other things like that. And so, and how to avoid conflict. I learned how to fly under the radar with her to avoid conflict. And so what I realized in my Mary Kay business that I really feel was holding me back is that I can count on two hands, you guys, the number of times I've ever been angry because I've never allowed myself that emotion. And so y'all are going to crack up. And so when I go home, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a softball bat, and I'm going to buy either a punching bag or a pillow. And I'm going to allow myself to have that anger, because as she pointed out, when you get angry, and you don't work through it, and that's never meant that it's okay to work through it in a destructive way, but if you don't work through it, then it will come out in other ways. And so y'all, I am so stinking excited about going and buying a softball bat and a big old pillow, and some of the things that I know I've been angry about, I'm gonna get that gone. Now, that may not be your issue, but I can guarantee you there's something that's tripping you up. And so she gave me a tool, but now it's up to me to use that tool. And so that's why, you guys, being transparent and, being transparent up, not to each other, but up to your director or your future national is so important, because they probably walked through what you're dealing with. And so just kind of think about the tool belt in whatever way works for you, but just know anything that is tripping you up is fixable, okay? Anything is fixable. Okay, who else has a question or some feedback that they'd like to share? Okay. How did you guys like, and I very much want your feedback on this. I did this week where I sent y'all the recording early, because, when you go to an airport, you're never sure what's going to happen, and I didn't want you guys not to have the content. How did you like having the recording beforehand so that you can ask questions and answer? And it's okay to say, didn't matter to me one bit, it was great, don't like it. What's your feedback on that?
Well, this is Nina, and I really enjoyed it, because there are times when I'm on a call and this is some real big stuff, and it takes me longer to process it and think about what I want to say and what the real issues are. And sometimes the first thing that comes out of my mouth is not the real issue. And so it gave me some time to kind of think about it and come up with some real answers. I mean, not that the first thing isn't a real answer, but it's usually not the best answer.
Exactly. Okay, thank you so much, Nina, for that feedback. Anybody else?
I liked it. I actually watched it like 3 times.
Oh, well, you got to be with me in my hotel room in Albuquerque.
The whole way through the first time, then took notes, and then really just started answering my questions on the third one. So.
Well, and you guys, and Belinda, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I got to tell you, and this has nothing to do with this call, but is a bigger thing. I love my life. You guys, I was sitting in a beautiful hotel room overlooking the mountains in Albuquerque, getting to record that for you guys. And now I'm sitting in the Albuquerque airport with my iPad on the floor, about to have a Diet Dr. Pepper. And I love the flexibility of this business. I love that I still get to have the time with you. And then when I get home, Dick is going to pick me up at the airport, and we're going straight to Shreveport to an incredible Memorial Day weekend. And if I were still working another job, I could not do this. But you can sprinkle it in and around. And I was doing a coaching call on, Saturday, Friday, Thursday night. And the person I was coaching with said, Jeannie, why are you trying to do those things when you are traveling? And I realized that her perspective was that this was something I didn't enjoy doing. And you know the old saying, when there's something you do that you love, you will never work another day in your life. Y'all, I love this. This fuels me. I cannot think of a better way to start my Saturday than with y'all. And so, you know, it is so worth the effort of figuring out how to make this happen in and around your job. It is so worth the effort to work through whatever the stuff is in these 6 inches that are holding you back, but you cannot stand on pride. You have to be open, and sometimes that means letting somebody ask you questions, you answer, and then zipping your lip. Because one of the things that Deb called me out on yesterday, and you know, when we think we're really good listeners and somebody tells you you're not, your like rear end comes up on your shoulders at lightning speed. And she said, Jeannie, are you trying to convince me, or are you asking me a question? And I had to think, because I have total respect and trust in her. And I realized that what I was doing was I was trying to convince her of what I was saying. And, you know, sometimes we do that. And I don't know if you guys have somebody on your team who does that, or maybe you've done it. It's a way of deflecting any further questions. And that doesn't serve you, you know, because if you're in that coaching relationship, the idea is to allow the transference of a new thought and a new idea. And so this is so worth it. And guys, I want to just give you a few quick reminders. Seminar registration deadline is the 31st, and you do not want to miss it. Your team members do not want to miss it. If they have to put it on a credit card and then work to get that money ready to go by the time the credit card comes in, then we need to do that. The hotel they don't have to pay for till later, and they've got plenty of time to earn the money, especially since our seminar is not until August. We are going to do, I'm so excited about this. We are going to be at the Victory Tavern and Grill again for our Home Family Awards, and we are going to be doing a lip syncing contest already. And Susan Graham and Julie Erickson have both already sent me their songs for fear that somebody else might pick their song. And Emmy's shaking her head, she knows. And so I am so stinking excited. And this year, because last year, I don't know if you guys noticed, our unit didn't do one. And I'm embarrassed to tell you the reason is because I told all of y'all, and I'm the one who told y'all, your directors, and I forgot to tell my unit. So I was in some kind of hot water on that night. And so we are going to be doing something as well. But just make sure you're on top of that seminar reg. Any closing questions or challenges? Okay, I will tell you going forward that next week we will have our normal Saturday morning, but there are some times coming up through, there's at least two in June that we will do definitely this same way because of my travel schedule. And I'm going to a Tony Robbins event and going to walk on hot coals. Y'all can start praying for me now. I'm trying to not get my head crazy about that. And then I'm going to be at a Lori Hogg 7-hour glamour workshop down in Houston with Tanya and her unit. And I saw Lou raise her wave. Yay! I know, Lou, I'm so excited. I thank you for your encouragement on that, by the way. And so those 2 Saturdays, we will definitely be doing the recording ahead of time. And on neither of those will we have a live time like this, okay? But I will have those for you. And so I want to close us with just a prayer. Lord, I just, as I grab this iPad, as if I'm grabbing each of these women. I just thank you for who they are. I thank you for their courageousness. I thank you for their commitment that they would be up on a Saturday morning sharing their precious time on a holiday weekend. Wow, does that speak volumes? I thank you that you have stirred within them the desire to grow and to stand in the shoes that you designed them to stand in. And so, Lord, I just pray a special blessing on each of these women and their families, those who will listen in later, that you will give them that hedge of protection from doubt and discouragement so that Satan cannot use that against them, and that you would bless their efforts, give them new insight, new courage, new excitement, new passion. And most of all, Lord, just make them feel safe in reaching out for help. And so, Lord, we just give you the honor and the praise and the glory in all things in your precious name. Amen. All right, you guys, I love you. Mwah! I wish you were here in Albuquerque with me. And I will look forward to talking to you guys next Saturday. Keep the posts coming about your books and things you're learning on our Future Victory National area. And just know, if you need me, I'm a text or a phone call away. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Let's see.